Hello everybody and welcome to Smack the Markets Trading Room weekly market wrap for weekend in the 7th of December. Now this week has been quite a challenging week for the markets. It's not only been non-farm payroll week, but there's also been the US shutdown on Wednesday for President Bush, and also the news has been dominated by oil and the oil-related markets, and that's created a huge amount of volatility in a lot of the markets that we like to trade. So, particularly the Caddy, the Aussie, and the Kiwi. Now, we've also had this week has been the week where the UK government has been forced to publish the legal advice that it received from the Attorney General on the Brexit negotiations, and that's then had an impact on Great British Pound as well. So there's been plenty there to keep the volatility high through the markets this week. So let's take a look at the trades here that we took in the markets, and we can kick off here with the first one, which was Kiwi against the CAD. Now this was a swing long trade. The idea of this really was that, again, it's one of our markets that we've traded many times before. We'd got a continuation of this trend. We'd also got above some key levels here on the daily chart and also on the weekly, and a lot of the other Kiwi markets and Aussie markets at the time were up against sort of strong levels, whereas this one wasn't. So we took this opportunity to get positioned in here as the market pulled back into the moving averages. And if I open this 4-hour chart up a little bit clearer, you can see we got the pull back into the moving averages here. We got quite a nice little tight trade to be able to get positioned long. Now the trade played out successfully, as we can see, and we got our target on this particular one. We only took this as a 1-to-1 because over the past sort of few weeks here, the markets have been extremely choppy. So we didn't really want to sort of get held into this. And we wanted to be able to book our profit. Now, as it turned out, this trend continued to go on for a lot further, but we closed out this one at sort of first target. Now, as the week moved on, we started to get that increased volatility that came through, and there were some huge gaps that occurred in the markets, as you can see here on Euro against the Aussie. Now, once these gaps first appeared, we tried to avoid actually trading some of these, but after a time, as you can see this here on the 4-hour chart here, this particular market, the gap just wasn't closing. And on the day that we took this trade, the Euro was very weak. The Aussie was particularly strong. We'd got this sort of consolidation into the moving averages here, and we were looking for a continuation short on this trend. So if we come down to the lower time frames, this was how we got positioned. We took this as a breakout here on the 15-minute time frames, just to stop above the high. We're looking for a fairly sort of quick trade down towards these lows here, and to be able to lock in some of that price action. As it sort of turned out, once the trade sort of got triggered, it didn't sort of move that far before we got some news that turned the market around. And in fact, this later on continued up. It did actually close the gap eventually, and it sort of continued much higher as the week has moved on. So the next trade that we took here was on Euro dollar. This was an intraday trade, and what we were looking for on this particular day was we were looking for an intraday play here between these two levels here on the 4-hour time frame. So with this particular market, we'd been stalking this 113 level, which was quite a significant price point, and there was a nice window of opportunity up to the 114 area up here. So the market had broken through the level, and then we got broken into this window. It had pulled back to this level, and that's where we looked at getting position. So it was quite a nice technical setup. If we come to the 30-minute time frame, this is where we got positioned. The 113 level, as you can see, is just sort of through here. We'd got a trend here on the 30-minute time frame. We'd also got a sort of a cluster pullback at the same time as well. So we got this pivot point clustering around this level of previous highs. We'd also got the from the recent fib study of the trend, there was also clustered with a 61.8% fib level too, and we got our sort of bullish candle that after the pullback. So that was the setup that we took here on the 30-minute time frame. So a number of things sort of technically setting up, and as once the trade triggered, it started to move in our favor, almost got to sort of first target, and then I believe there was some news that or announcement that came out that caused the market to move back sort of fairly quickly, and that took the stop out, and we got stopped out on this particular trade too. So following that, the increased volatility sort of crept in. Then we had the holiday, then we for the US holiday, and then towards the end of the week we had that non-farm payroll news as well, which combined sort of like restricted the amount of opportunities that we could identify for trading opportunities. So trading volumes sort of fairly low this week. We had 3 trades in total, 1 winner, 2 losers. Ended the week 1% down. So certainly hope it helps. We'll look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.